Welcome back, guys, to our final episode of the year, the World Series preview. I'm here with Ken Suzuki, Oliver Catran. This is it. This is the Fall Classic. You got two teams here that, one team who you definitely expect to be there, the Philadelphia Phillies, and one team, the Astros. Pretty terrible season. They kind of,
upstarts.
Scratch back in the end. But yeah, really exciting matchup. What do you guys think of this matchup? Oliver?
This is huge, boys. It is the show. It is the moment. It is time. We have been waiting for years. Philadelphia, America's team. Aaron Nola is in the postseason. Bryce Harper, the phenom. I remember his major league debut 12 years ago. This is what has come to fruition, boys. Fruition! History in the making. The Astros, who have reached their 5th World Series in the past 6 years. The Phillies haven't been there since 2009. What's going on? Who can even say it? The consequences are huge. They're huge. Philadelphia, the Northeast, New England, old school, Texas, Houston. It's America. It's Democrats, Republicans, it's conservative, liberals. So much at stake in this series.
Okay, Ken, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Before Ollie breaks his microphone and all his surroundings, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited as well. Not as excited as Ollie over there, but you got a team in the Houston Astros that no one expected, and you got the juggernaut in the Phillies that everyone expected that would be there. This is a fucking matchup of the centuries, man.
You just took my joke.
You literally just plagiarized all of his spice.
You stole my joke.
Get your own spice, Ken. That's Isaac's spice.
That's how I get through school, man. I just came back from classes. That's literally how I get through school. So I'm just gonna
What
bring
class
it.
did you have?
I actually had intro to mass media. We learned about
intro to mass media. So you learned about Bleacher Boys Media. I would hope.
We're talking about it right now.
Do you want to break down the NLCS, ALCS really quick? You want to give a little preview of how these two teams got there, or I think we should do that. I think. Yeah. As Yankee fans, it pains me a little bit to discuss how the Astros got there. But, it doesn't really to explain how the Phillies got there. So let's jump right there because, Ken, I know you had the Padres. So do you want to do a little bit explaining on what went wrong with the Padres, what went right with the Phillies in that last series?
I think the Padres just got overpowered with more juice. The goose wasn't enough. The Padres, they were a great story. Same with the Phillies, but the Phillies just outdid everything the Padres had thrown at them. Like the three main guys, Schwarber, Harper, and Hoskins, they were all them. Like they did their job. And for the Padres side of things, Soto and Machado, they had some moments here and there, but they didn't really live up to expectations. And the Phillies kind of just steamrolled them. It was kind of surprising.
Okay, yeah. I was pretty shocked too. I thought we were in for getting to a Game 7 with these two teams. I think the Padres pitching just kind of caved in. We talked a lot about Joe Musgrove having the biggest balls on the planet. Darvish even got put up for a couple, and the Padres lineup wasn't able to produce as much as they were in the past, and every time they did, the Phillies came back and answered with a huge home run. Home crowd advantage really played a big part in this series. I felt like it was nice to see all the Philly fans get really excited compared to the other ALCS, where it just seemed like the Yankee Stadium was quiet for half the time played there. Ollie, what are your thoughts on the Padres-Phillies series?
Yeah, man, that's tough. The Padres really shooting themselves in the foot in that series. Some really questionable pitching decisions made by Bob Melvin. I don't know why Sean Manaea ever got a chance to pitch at Citizens Bank Park. That was a major error, which I would not have made. Same goes for Robert Suarez being put in that situation in Game 5 when he was already tired and overused, and for some reason not using Josh Hader, who only pitched one inning in that series. That is going to haunt Bob Melvin for years, that he used his ace closer only once in that 5-game series. Absolutely baffling. Don't know where that came from. But as Ken was saying, Philly sluggers got it done. It was the big bats, Hoskins, 4 bombs, Schwarber, couple bombs, Schwarber 3 bombs actually, and 6 walks, getting on base, hitting home runs, doing what National League teams do, hitting the ball out of the park.
Yeah, and that's what we said going into this. I think we said this going into the entire Phillies postseason is if they want to win, the bats got to come out strong. And what do you know? Looking back now, every single one of their big boppers we've mentioned really produced.
Damn right.
Coming from another team's perspective, that must be so nice. Obviously, Noah doesn't have the greatest of games against the Padres. But Ranger Suarez, man, he looked
Ranger
awesome.
Suarez, let's
I
go.
think that's if I'm given a Cy Young award for that series, I think it's Ranger Suarez. Zach Wheeler pitched well too.
Let's go. This is so
the
rewarding.
Big boppers,
Woo!
That's
my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. I've been talking about all season. I've been talking about Ranger Suarez. That's my guy. That's my guy, dude. I was gonna come through, man.
Yeah, he was one of
starter, whatever.
One of the 5 picks you had for Cy Young.
That's right. This
you hear
makes
me?
me so happy. The Ranger Suarez.
he was one of the
GOAT
the
right
5
now.
people you said was gonna win the Cy Young, and if one of them works out, that looks so good for me. Yeah, wow.
The tag for this video, the thumbnail
I
has
think
to be Ranger Suarez as a GOAT. That has to be the thumbnail for this video.
No,
Ranger Suarez
no.
in GOAT form. Yes.
I also
Do you
did
know
have.
the-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I
No,
was
you
just
go
going to
ahead.
finish up on Ranger Suarez. I also did have his name circled to talk about. I mean, the guy pitch.
Ken's gotta claim credit. Okay.
He starts a game, gets the win, and then in Game 5 he closes it out and bails out David Robertson. Like, he can do everything, man. Like, I really wasn't buying any Ranger Suarez stock before the season, so I'll give my flowers to Ollie for a second here.
Okay, we're giving the flowers. That's a step in the right direction because you guys bicker a lot, so it's good to see
You two
some
have been
improvement
bickering
there.
a lot more than I am.
We bring the spice.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
true.
we do.
Me and Ali are me and Ali fight too. Yeah, we bring the spice.
It's that
Bring that.
chipotle,
Bring
baby.
that.
That chili pepper.
What'd you say? Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper's not
That
that
cayenne
spicy.
pepper.
Chipotle's not that spicy either.
Yeah.
I need a habanero. But anyway,
habanero.
I think we should jump sides here. It pains me to talk about this. Me and Ken already did extensively on our other channel in which we discussed the Yankees Astros series. We're obviously big Yankee fans if you guys don't know that, so shed a tear, throw some roses on the graves for the Yanks. But I haven't really heard Ollie's opinion on this series. If you can turn down the laughing in our face, just like maybe can you just give your feelings quickly, maybe like 30 seconds, then we can move on. I'm sure that's not what you're going to do, but
I'm not really in a bullying mood about this. I just kind of feel pity. I feel pity that the Yankees just kind of rolled over again for the 3rd time. It was hard to watch. I watched all these games, especially Game 4 was just, you had some hope because Lance McCullers looked so hittable. You had some hope they were going to turn it around, but in the end, the Astros just had you beaten every facet of the game, man. They were just throwing pitcher after pitcher after pitcher at you. Christian Javier, Luis Garcia, Hector Neris, everybody they threw at you just tore you to pieces. This is a pitching staff that's basically just a wall. Playing the Astros, just running into this wall of pitching, this wall of fastballs that you can't push over. The Yankees couldn't push over that wall, and they tried. They put together some nice at bats in that last game, but man, pitching wins postseason series, and the Yankees just got outpitched.
Yeah, I mean, we've known that for a long time now. As we've said, this is. I don't really want to get too much into the Yankees world here, but something big needs to change with the Yankees because that showing was just pathetic. As Yankee fans, I'm embarrassed of that series. I want to forget it as soon as possible. There needs to be a lot of changes coming up. But you got to give credit where credit is due. The Astros came out there and they didn't score a crazy amount of runs, but they did score enough to win. And like you said, their pitching was absolutely nuts. If you told me that Justin Verlander and Lance McCullers were both going to look kind of mediocre, kind of mid pitching, I would have said I like my odds in this series. But they had just guys coming out left and right who were shutting down the Yankees out of the pen. They only used Stanek, I think, one time, who's one of the best relievers on the team.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean they're legit. They are the team to beat in the MLB right now, other than the Dodgers, I think. And yeah, I mean, I think they definitely are the favorites for this series.
Can I just give a quick note on the Astros offense too?
Yeah.
The Astros offense, gotta give them flowers as well. I mean, Bregman showed up, but besides Bregman, their guys didn't really show up. Alvarez hit 214 in the series, Altuve hit 188, and Tucker hit 154. But in contrast to the Yankees, their other guys picked them up. McCormick, Maldonado, Gurriel, Pena, Christian Vasquez, even with a big two RBI single that kind of broke that Game 3 open. Like, these guys, just up and down the lineup, we kind of talked about their weakness being their depth of the lineup. It kind of blew up in our faces. Like, these guys kind of showed up and showed out. It'll be interesting to see how this team looks when everyone's clicking. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but you got to give your credit to the better team. They're you want to hate the Astros with their cheating scandal, but every single year it seems like they're on the ALCS again or the World Series. So it's kind of sad, but that those cheating rumors kind of seem to dwindle away the more they win, which if you're the Astros franchise is exactly what you want to do, is say, yeah, we cheated in 2017, but look at us now every single year winning since then. So it's just kind of like, it's just so disheartening as fans of baseball to be like, damn, I guess they were good. It kind of like... doesn't make the excuse of Yankees losing as good. But, we should really round this up. We should get into World Series talk. The World Series is here, so we should be fucking pumped for that. I just want to start with, so as the underdog, the Phillies, Ollie, what do the Phillies need to do to win this series? And if you say Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler as your first thing, I will
throw Ranger Suarez in there, too. No Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
Unsung heroes of the NLCS. The unsung hero rewriting the narrative of the season was the Phillies bullpen. It was not their starters. It was this Phillies bullpen. Much maligned, much condemned. If you ask people, like, what's the universal punching bag in baseball talk? It's the Philadelphia bullpen. Every year it sucks. Every year people shit on it. Well, let me tell you something. Jose Alvarado, 3 shutties, 4 strikeouts. Freaking Andrew Bellotti, 1.1, 3 strikeouts. Kyle Gibson coming out of nowhere, their worst starter, giving them an inning and a third scoreless. Connor Brogdon, 3 1/3 scoreless. Noah Syndergaard, they just pulled out. And then above all, Sir Anthony Dominguez, who gave you 4 innings, 1-run ball with 7 Ks in 3 appearances. They threw some serious arms out of the bullpen, and every one of these relievers showed up. Every reliever except for Brad Hand came through against the Padres, and I was so impressed to watch. I thought the relievers were used really well. I thought they were not overextended. Ken mentioned Suarez relieving David Robertson in Game 5. Very smart decision when he was getting tired. This was a masterful use of the Phillies bullpen by Rob Thompson. And what's most impressive is that the Phillies won this series even though Aaron Nola gave them his worst start of the postseason. That's incredible if you think about that, right? Because the Phillies' whole plan is we're going to win 4 games a series because we have 2 for Wheeler and 2 for Nola. Well, they just won a series, and the one game they lost was the one Nola completely goofed. So if they can prove that they can win, even in games when it's not Nola and Wheeler, that bodes really well for the Astros. Because I think the Phillies are showing us that they can win in ways we didn't even imagine they could win, Because the bats are so consistent, because so many guys are hot right now. I mean, Rhys Hoskins, dude, where'd this guy come from? The 7 ribbies in those 5 games. So what the Phillies need to do is just keep playing the same kind of baseball they've been playing. Don't change things. Don't try to surprise the Astros. Just keep playing Phillies baseball. Hit home runs, draw lots of walks, take big cuts, go after these fastballs that the Astros are going to throw at them, and keep using this bullpen. Keep throwing Alvarado and Dominguez and their 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Just blow away Altuve, blow away Bregman, and they can do it. They can do it. The Astros are vulnerable to really tough pitching. We saw Nola throw almost a perfect game against them earlier this year. So beat the Astros with your good pitching and keep hitting home runs. That's how the Phillies win.
Yeah, Sir Anthony Dominguez has looked great. He was really gassing it up in the last game, I thought. And obviously their bullpen is a soft spot. We've been saying that for the entire postseason run, is that their bullpen's been a problem. But, it hasn't really been that terrible if we take a step back and look at it.
It's been fantastic.
Ken, what are your thoughts on the Phillies' chance of success in the series? Or Ali, you got something else?
I was just gonna say you're
Sorry,
even
Ali.
now you're still kind of down on the bullpen. You keep everyone. It's just like it's so deep in our minds to criticize the Phillies bullpen, assume it's gonna suck, but that's not the story right now, guys. This bullpen's been rock solid. ERA hovering around under 3 this entire postseason, racking up tons of Ks, not walking anybody. The peripheral numbers are really good for the relievers. Just saying. Like, it's nice. It's nice right now.
Yeah. Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make a comparison here. Like the Phillies, everyone's been talking about it's always the Houston Astros against the National League East team, this and that. But this Phillies team really reminds me of the Braves team from last year, and maybe even a little bit of the Nationals team from 19. Like, those were 2 teams that were that had 2 really good starters, maybe 3, and the bullpen was their question mark, right? Like the Braves question marks in the bullpen were huge before going into the playoffs, and then they became this insane unit of guys that just dragged their balls on the mound every time they they took the mound. Jesse Chavez, Luke Jackson, Dylan Lee, Chris Martin,
Minter.
Tyler Matzik, and AJ
Matzik, all these
Minter.
guys.
Will Smith, obviously, yeah, and these guys just took them by surprise and kind of just lit the baseball world on fire. And I think the Phillies are kind of doing the same thing here. They're underrated guys, but they got the guys they need to lead them to victory. Like as Ollie said, the two guys that didn't pitch well, Bailey Falter and Brad Hand, I feel like they can kind of bounce back in a non high pressure moments in the World Series.
Hand sucks.
Brad Hand does. Obviously, I don't have much faith in him, but if you put him in like a 5th or 6th inning situation, he doesn't really have to be the 8th or 9th inning guy because of how many guys have emerged out of nowhere and kind of taken that role. Alvarado, Eflin, Bilotti, you guys named him, Sir Anthony Dominguez. So I think they do have a really good bullpen now, and I'm kind of finally buying in.
Yeah. I like the comparison of the Braves. I think that's a pretty good comparison. So you want to start that as that's your strength of this team, like the next guy up kind of mentality of like anyone who pitches for this team will be good. I mean, if I'm going to start with a strength of this team, I'm going to go the offense. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus, that Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, even Nick Castellanos sometimes, if he gets it rolling, that is a scary offense, and it always has been. There's never been a doubt that the Phillies offense is going to be successful. Bryson Stott has really impressed me. His ability to get, put the ball in play is really crucial in that, 7th spot of the order. I kind of like him there. But yeah, Ollie, what do you have for strengths and weaknesses of this Phillies team?
Well, the bullpen has become a strength for me. That's what I'm going to list as their new strength of the team. We know about the pitching and the starting and the hitting, all that. I'm saying the bullpen has actually become a strength for the Phillies, and specifically the bullpen depth. It's not just 1 or 2 guys they're relying on, but it's 5 to 6 different arms that Rob Thompson can call on. So,
yeah,
bullpen depth, versatility from lefties and righties. Alvarado's great against lefties or righties. He's basically, you don't have to use him as a lefty specialist. That's what's nice about him is he can be put in any situation. So situationally, the Phillies have a lot of good matchup opportunities with their bullpen. I'm really excited about that. That's a good way to attack the Astros. So I'm going to say that's the weakness for them is I'm not sure what they're going to do when it comes to starting a Game 4. I don't really think Bailey Falter is a legitimate starting option right now. He's just not at that level in terms of his stuff, in terms of his acumen. I feel the same way about Noah Syndergaard, actually, but I would go Syndergaard over Falter at this point. Game 4, the Phillies are looking very vulnerable from a starting pitching perspective. Also, another vulnerability is they have not seen a lot of these Astros pitchers before, especially the young guys, McCullers, Javier, Valdez. The Phillies hitters have not seen a lot of these pitchers. Same goes to the Astros hitters, of course, but McCullers have been around for a while, that's true, but different leagues, they don't see each other that much. Particularly Valdez, I think, is a guy that give the Phillies a serious headache with all of his ground balls that he gets. He could really take apart their power hitters. Valdez doesn't give up a lot of home runs, so... I mean, I'm always talking about Valdez, so I think they have a weakness when it comes to facing these Astros elite pitchers that they haven't seen much.
Especially all those lefty bats in the order. I totally agree that plays opposite to them. Honestly, I would start him Game 1 because then you get 2 games of him
Valdez
on full
Valdez,
rest.
yeah.
Yeah, because you get they don't have, other than Nick Castellanos and Rhys Hoskins, they don't really have very many threatening right-handed bats. Like all their big threatening.
JT.
Yeah, JT, I guess, yeah. But like I'm much more scared of the lefties in that Phillies order, and I feel like the lefty sinker plays so well to that lineup. So like, and he's been honestly the more dominant one in recent. Like he's on a hot streak right now. I know they'll go JV probably, but I mean, if I were the Astros, I would pitch Framber. He's been so good, and every time he pitches against the Yankees, he just is so frustrating. He throws a lot of those borderline sinkers and those changeups that dip right under, so you're always just like, in a gray area of when to swing, when not to swing. And then when he does make mistakes, you're like late on it because it has late moving action, and he's just a really good pitcher. Someone told me that he had hair extensions. Is that true?
Valdez.
I think so.
But why would you fake that type of, like, is he bald? I don't understand. Do you have any?
I'm pretty sure.
Do you have anything more on this? Our analysts?
I'm pretty sure they are extensions, but like he does have dreads. They're just It's hard to
Why would you need
describe.
extension? Why would you need extensions though?
It's like I don't even know, man. Luis Garcia and Astros teammate Framber Valdez got hair extensions this season and will hope to continue to display their unique locks as Houston tries to reach the World Series for the 4th time in 6 years.
God, I hate them. I hate them, man. That is so weird. Imagine Aaron Judge extensions. Like,
Whatever.
just like... All right, yeah,
Aaron
whatever.
Judge with dreads.
Okay, Ken. Yeah, Aaron Judge with dreads would be pretty hot, I'm not going to lie.
Chapman with
Cornrows?
dreads? Oh,
Stop.
he'll be
Don't
back.
Don't even say that name.
He'd be-
Don't even say that name.
He
Off
might
the
miss
books.
a couple
Money
games
off the
because
books,
he has
baby.
to he has to get extensions. That'd be kind of funny.
He gets an extension and an extension?
Our host is spicy.
Very spicy. All right, Ken. Strengths and weaknesses, baby.
You guys kind of I don't even know where to go. I mean, yes, their bullpen has become a strength. I wouldn't consider it their number one strength. I'd still follow Isaac's route here and go offense as their number one strength. Their weakness is their starting pitching. I feel like if Nola is not Nola, you only got Wheeler. You're kind of thinned out there. And Syndergaard, you said Syndergaard for Game 4, but he can only give you like 3, maybe 4 innings. Bailey Falter looked like one of the worst pitchers in baseball, right there up with Mike Clevenger. So I don't know where the Phillies go in terms of starting pitching. They don't have much length. They're going to have to rely heavily on this new strength of theirs, their bullpen. So we'll see where that leads them. But I definitely see the starting rotation as their weakness.
Yeah, totally. All right, Ken, do you want to move into your X Factor player and why?
Yes, my X Factor player for the Philadelphia Phillies is a name you brought up earlier. It's Bryson Stott. This guy. I'm putting the stamp of Electric Factory, stamp of approval, Electric Factory, bro. This guy is really, really underrated, and he came out of nowhere and kind of took over that shortstop position after Didi got released. He went 4 for 15 with a cool 733 OPS, added a 1.72 percentage of championship win probability. This guy, as Isaac said, he puts the ball in play, and in big situations, he knows how to take that pitch away and just drive it down the left field line for doubles and singles. This guy is very underrated. He's an electric factory, and he's my X Factor. I think he can get a big hit off of Framber.
That might have been one of my picks for name to remember or X Factor player, but I do like it. Ollie, who do you got? And don't say Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler.
Or Ranger Suarez.
Here I am crossing those names
those are my
off my
3
list.
picks.
You guys think I only know 3 players in the Phillies? No, my X Factor is...
Yeah, that's exactly what we're saying.
My X Factor is Nick Castellanos. This guy had a really strong series against the
No
Rays.
way.
Batted .313, drove in 5 runs over 4 games. He was a huge part of that offense when they were stringing together all those rallies, but he went dead cold in the NLCS. He only hit .222, 4 for 18, only 2 extra base hits. So I want to see if Castellanos can get something going against pitchers like Valdez, like Neris, like Verlander. We know he's still got it. He's still an elite level hitter when he's right. He has not been right very much recently, but I want to see if he can turn what he did against the Braves and against guys like Max Fried into success against the Astros. Max Fried and Framber Valdez have similar profiles as pitchers, and Castellanos hit Fried very hard in that first game. So that's a chance. If he can turn that around and get the Phillies some big hits, he could be a big difference. So that's my X Factor.
Yeah, that's unfortunately who I had too as my X Factor, but I don't know. Should I be boring and should I go with the same thing or should I maybe switch it up a little bit?
Have your
have the
second
same
X Factor.
reasonings?
There's multiple X Factors.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
your backup.
I just think that well, like I said, against Framber Valdez, I think a lot of the lefties are going to be pitched very toughly, so I think it's the righty hitters, and I consider him like the second best righty hitter on the team, so he has to produce. But I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go Sir Anthony Dominguez. I think he's a crucial arm out of that pen. Obviously, we talked about the weaknesses of the Phillies, or not, has been that pen. And I think he's going to get some really big outs in this series, possibly to Bregman. Dominguez has strikeout kind of stuff. The Astros don't strike out a lot, so that should be a really good matchup to see. I wonder if they'll put him in to face Jordan. The high velo up in the zone was really a problem for Jordan against the Yankees at least, so maybe they'll continue that trend there. But yeah, Sir Anthony Dominguez is definitely going to play a big role in this series. I'm gonna move down the list of the name to remember. Maybe someone you guys, someone the fans have forgotten about who could play a big role. Someone who can make an impact that is generally not considered one of the big stars. Ken, I'll swing it to you first for who you got.
I'm going Connor Brogdon out of the bullpen. To be honest with you, I really didn't have much knowledge of Connor Brogdon before the playoffs this year, and he kind of came out of nowhere and is giving the Phillies a lot of good innings out of the bullpen. I mean, he's one of the guys, the reasons why me and Ollie and even Isaac are giving Phillies credit now for their what used to be their weakness is now their strength. Brogdon has pitched amazing out of the bullpen, giving them quality innings in the middle relief role. So Brogdon, if they're starters, as I said, their weakness, if they can't go long, look out for Brogdon to come in and kind of try to shut it down for a few innings to bridge that gap between their high leverage guys and their starters.
I like it. Very underrated name there. Ollie?
Yeah, I'm actually not going to go with a name to remember. Instead, I'm going to go with a pitch to remember. I'm going to be a little bit alternative rock here. The pitch to remember for this series is Ranger Suarez's sinker, his lefty sinker.
You just needed to say Ranger Suarez.
This was his bread and butter pitch during the season. Nasty for getting those called strikes. Not a bad swing and miss pitch, but mainly best for getting ground balls. And he used it really well against the Phillies, getting Soto and Kim looking in big spots. I want to see him use that sinker against these Astros bats, against especially Yordan, see if he can catch him with some backdoor sinkers on the outside corner and get him looking once or twice. Also going to be good against guys like McCormick and Bregman, who are ground ball vulnerable. That's my key pitch for the Phillies in this series. My key World Series pitch is going to be Ranger Suarez sinker. Yeah.
Me and Ken have been pretty boring going with the, what the segment's actually called, but fair enough. Good on you to, add some creativity to that segment. I'm going to be boring though. I'm going Gene Segura. Dude, was he like the most games played of a player without a postseason at bat or something like that? I think that was the stat. He had a couple big hits against the Cards. He hasn't really done a lot, if we're being honest, this series. So, he's the type of veteran leadership that this team could rely on, and he could come up with a very big hit. So keep an eye out on him. Once again, another righty hitter in that lineup. I believe he's probably going to be, sixth in that lineup?
Seventh, maybe?
Yeah.
Sixth or seventh. Bryson stopped my bat after, my bat after him. So you never know.
He's
Gene
been
Segura
batting
come
8 a little
up big. 8? I don't think so. I think he was higher up in the lineup, but I could be wrong. Yeah. All right. Anyone have anything else on the Phillies other than Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez?
That's about it. Covered it all.
That's about it. That's all I got either. All right. Moving on to the Astros side of
Boo.
things.
We hate them.
Yeah,
We
boo
don't like
the
them.
Astros.
They're bad.
I think everyone
them.
in the world right now, except for in the state of Texas, is rooting for the Phillies here.
America's
unless
team.
you're a Mets
America's
fan,
team.
because if you're a Mets fan, imagine what it would do to you to have the third place team in your division win the World Series. That would be absolutely devastating. Unless you're a Mets fan, I think everyone's riding on the Phillies right now. The Astros. They are the team to beat, like we've been talking about. They are the only juggernaut left. Really, I didn't even count the Yankees left in the CS because they did not look like a juggernaut. But yeah, what do the Astros need to do to win, Ken?
The Astros need to... What do they need to do? What can they do to win a series? They haven't lost a game in the playoffs yet, so what can't they do to win a game? I mean, they've been absolutely dominant. And I guess all they got to do is just continue to play their game and stay in their lane. I think they're going to do it. They're not afraid of any big moment. They've all been there before. They just know how to play the game the right way now. And they got a great leader in Dusty Baker, who I personally love. So they've got the, I don't know, they're very deserved favorites here.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Anyone have anything on why he wears those gloves?
I thought it was
That's
just
a
because
great
of temperature, because the cold in New York, colder than Texas, I guess.
No. They're like doctor's gloves. They're like the gloves people wore at the height of COVID. Like, yeah, they're like the black
It must be some kind
black
of
doctor's
superstition
gloves,
or
medical
something. Some
gloves.
kind of he puts them on and they win every time kind of thing.
Or maybe he doesn't like fist bumping the players. It gets the germs of the players. I really have no idea. It's a
Why
very
does
weird
Dusty
thing.
Baker wear gloves?
I
Baker
noticed that,
himself
too, during the
hasn't
game.
fully explained his decision to wear gloves during Astros games. Baker's wife, Melissa, told Sporting News that the gloves are a precaution for COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
But then why not wear a mask?
I still wear a mask because I had cancer 20 years ago and I had a stroke 7 years ago, Baker said. Some of the fans get on me. Take your mask off. You don't have to wear it, but it's in my best interest to wear it. The same can be said of the gloves. Baker was wearing gloves to pump gas in the early stages of the pandemic and was religiously wiping down things as a precaution. So I think it's just a COVID slash
Bit of
germs
a
kind of
little
thing.
hypochondria.
But, I
there,
mean,
a little
listen-
germaphobe action. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had too. But at the same time, he's like chewing on
Toothpick.
a toothpick that's been out there for so long. So that's probably more germs than what could happen to your hands. But I don't know. Weird story there. Ali, what are the Astros going to do to win this series? I mean, Ken pretty much covered it. But if you have anything else
Absolutely, yeah. We'll get back to Dusty Baker's toothpick later. That's what the people are really clamoring for us to talk about. So for the Astros to win this series, they got to throw some nasty fastballs. Their bread and butter as pitchers is their fastballs. This goes from Verlander to Christian Javier to all of their relievers rely on throwing great sinkers, some really great cutters, and some honest-to-God, solid, old-fashioned four-seamers. The big guy I look at again is Christian Javier. He has this really special, unique four-seamer that's not high velocity, but its spin axis and his release point make it really tough to pick up, and it just obliterated the Yankees in that past series, and it could do the same to the Phillies. The Phillies are a team that can hit fastballs very well, hit them for power, hit them a long way, but any team faced with enough good fastballs up in the zone can be taken down. That's just classic, old-school, all-American pitching is throwing good fastballs up in the zone to good hitters. So it might come down to a battle of fastballs versus fast bats to see whether it's Phillies big bats taking them deep or Astros fastballs getting swings and misses. I think that's what it could come down to in a lot of these games, especially when the relievers come in. When the relievers come in throwing hard out of the bullpen. So Astros got to throw good fastballs, locate, and this is your World Series, so time to gas it up. Don't hold anything back. Throw as hard as you can.
Yeah, we should be seeing an uptick in velo. Definitely saw that through the first couple rounds of the playoffs. The uptick in velocity was insane. I mean, like guys who were usually sitting 92, 93 were throwing 95 all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
The average fastball, I think, was above 94, which is just insane. Or it's above 95, actually. So, I mean, really, really impressive pitching. Everyone's laying it out on the line. Do you have a weakness, Ali, for this team? Because, this is the best team in baseball right now. Do they have any weaknesses?
It is hard to spot a weakness on this team. You have to dig deep. All I can say is a lot of the guys they've been relying on offensively haven't put it together this season, this offseason, this postseason. Kyle Tucker and Jose Altuve are the biggest culprits. Tucker was 2 for 13 in the ALCS. Altuve 3 for 16. These guys have not been getting hits. They haven't been getting on base even. They've been pretty much non-factors for the Astros. But when your lineup is as deep as theirs, it almost doesn't really matter, especially with the guys they have coming off the bench. Even Maldonado's had a decent series, and you got McCormick hitting a couple home runs. McCormick out of nowhere. Who's this guy? But to be fair, against the Yankees, the Astros had 238 team batting average, 755 OPS. They were productive, 18 runs over 4 games, but not getting any kind of slugfest action. They weren't just obliterating the Yankees with 10 spots and 8 spots all over the place. And Yankees pitching is, of course, much better than what the Phillies have, but it's fair to say that the Astros, while having an excellent offense, an elite offense, don't have, like Red Sox 2003 level offense. Not just going to put up 10 runs in a game on a whim. They're beatable on offense. That's where you can beat them.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of the times the Astros scored in that series, except for, the last game, the Yankees beat themselves. I mean, actually, they still beat themselves in the last game, too. A lot of misplays, a lot of errors, a lot of walks, a lot of, and I don't know if Philly's gonna do that. And the first 2 games where we have Nola and Wheeler, and even Ranger Suarez, they're not gonna make as many mistakes. And I think the Phillies are a more sound team than the Yankees defensively, which is just crazy to say. Brandon Marsh being a great center fielder, Bryce Harper being a great fielder, Segura being pretty decent. They have the guys there. So yeah, I think that Houston's offense is going to really have to show up. They definitely need a 1 through 9 productive, AB from all their guys to to score more runs, because they really didn't beat the Yankees with just complete offensive dominance as the Astros have in the past. But yeah, Ken, do you got a strength or a weakness?
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to piggyback you guys and talk about this offense a little bit. Because their weakness is Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, and Kyle Tucker. That's their black hole in the middle of the order. They couldn't get anything going. I agree with Ollie. The Yankees pitching staff is a lot better than the Phillies. I'll give the Yankees that. But their defense is, I don't know. The Phillies are rated worse. That was kind of a talking point throughout the whole season, even in the offseason last year, that the Phillies defense they kind of punted on. But the Yankees made a lot of mistakes as well. And the guys that really, really beat the Yankees was Chas McCormick, as you guys said, against Cole. That was kind of the game right there. Maldonado in Houston he kind of broke the game open. Yuli Gurriel, but their guy, Jeremy Pena, that was their star for the series. And Bregman, I'll give them those two. So besides those two, the Astros offense, as you guys kind of just already said, but they weren't there. So hopefully they can show up against a weaker pitching staff, but their offense is going to have to show up because the Phillies are going to score a lot more runs than the Yankees did.
Yeah. And for strength, Ken, what do you got? I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward here, but
it's pretty straightforward. But I'm going to give it to their pitching and defense, which wins championships. So we'll see if that works out this year. Their defense was absolutely amazing. Kyle Tucker in right field is very underrated. He was making plays on Judge and guys in the outfield, even the Yankee Stadium in Houston, wherever. He knows how to make a play in the outfield. He'll go get them. He'll get that first really hard sprint out the box, and then he'll kind of slow down, so it'll make it look like it's an easy catch. But those are kind of tough plays that he's making out there. And same with Jeremy Pena. He was an amazing shortstop, making insane plays that Yankee shortstops wasn't making. So Yuli Gurriel, even at first base, was making some athletic plays. They got guys, Chas McCormick, yes. These guys are absolutely great on defense. And then their pitching staff is absolutely gross. It's even crazy to say that Justin Verlander, the GOAT, isn't even, Isaac said, he wasn't even the best pitcher in the staff right now. So they got guys on guys on guys. Even out of the bullpen, they'll come at you. Like even that Mariners 18-inning game, they could have pitched for, 35 innings scoreless if they really needed to. Like, they got guys to do this. So it'll be, this matchup is really interesting in that aspect, that the strength of the Astros is the pitching staff, and the strength of the Phillies is the hitting and the slugging. So we'll see. It's the clash of the strengths.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. The only weak spot in their defense is Yordan Alvarez. Interesting to see what they do at Citizens Bank Park with him, because that's a bigger outfield. Houston obviously with a short wall, easier for him to play. But he made a couple of mistakes against the Yankees. He's obviously not a complete Mike Trout 5-tool type guy.
He's a DH,
but he's obviously still an incredible threat offensively. Yeah, you're totally right. They got guys like Abreu in that pen throwing 100. They got Stanek out there. There's guys that we didn't even see in the Yankees
Montero,
series.
Neris.
Yeah, Montero's pretty nasty. He just got clipped one time by Riz. Nice swing, Riz.
Nice swing, Riz.
But yeah.
Come back.
Ollie, what do you got in strength and weakness? I think we're pretty much covered for that, actually, because you already answered that. Do you guys have an X-Factor player?
Ollie?
Yeah, it's going to be Kyle Tucker for me, both for his offense and for his defense. I wanted to see him make some big plays in the outfield, maybe throw some guys out trying to steal some extra bases, but also just get some hits, put the ball in play, and try to hit a few gappers against Nola or Wheeler. It's basically like, for the Astros, you have to think of it as you could do things the hard way or the very, very hard way. It's always going to be hard to score runs against the Phillies when they have their aces going, but it's that much harder if Tucker is in his head.
Who are their aces?
It all ties into this Phillies.
Who are their aces?
It's all back to the aces, Nola and Wheeler, as you know.
Oh, Nola and Wheeler.
Do they even have a third starter though?
Aaron Michael Nola, actually, from California. No, he's from Mississippi. Anyway, the point is, those guys are lovely. But yeah, so for the Astros, it's going to be really, really that much harder for you if Kyle Tucker's not showing up. They don't want to make it. He has to make it easier for his team to win. I think he might be in his head right now trying to think of, I have to hit huge home runs and carry the team on my back. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He just has to put together good at bats. So X factor for the Astros, Mr. Tucker.
I love that. He can be scary as anyone in the MLB when he's on. Can steal a bag too. Great defense, great arm. Definitely a 5-tool guy. Struggling a little bit in the CS. Ken, who do you got?
This might surprise you. I've gone
Okay.
Jeremy Pena for the first two series for the Astros. I'm switching it up. Baby. This is a
Maldonado.
guy that's kind of the heart and soul. Wow, it's Martin Maldonado. That's
No
my
way.
That's my X factor.
I know exactly
No
how you think.
way.
I know exactly how you
can-
think.
Hold on. He can impact games that don't show up on the box score. Like, this guy is really the heart and soul of this Astros team. I know Christian Vasquez they got from the Red Sox, an all-star caliber catcher, but there's a reason Maldonado is still behind the plate for big games. Like, he throws out guys in big spots. He fires them up. He talks to his pitchers when they need it. And he even came up with a couple big hits against the Yankees. So this guy at the bottom of the order, I said this before the Astros-Yankees series, don't let Maldonado beat you. They let Maldonado beat them, but the Phillies
him
got to
and
keep
walked
an
him
eye on
5
Maldonado
times.
because Maldonado can change games and momentums.
Guy hit 15 home runs
Like
this
not a
year.
lot of people can. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Austin
okay.
Hedges
That's a
is
great
Maldonado.
pick.
Definitely
That is a
very
veteran
out
call
there
right there.
pick.
That's a veteran call right there.
Yeah, he's really good with the pitchers too. Pretty good at blocking. Had some funny plays where he dropped the ball in the last game, but who really cares about that? You kind of discouraged me to go Jeremy Pena. I mean, he's from what Dusty said, he's a very confidence-driven player. Just coming off winning the ALCS
Rookie
MVP.
shortstop, they can win ALCS MVPs. What?
Yeah, I didn't even.
Never happened
Apparently,
before in
imagine if you just play the guy. Imagine if you just play the guy in the last month of the season. Shocker,
Imagine
what
playing
happens?
your best shordstop. Oh wow.
Oh my God, doesn't even make sense to my small Yankee brain. Yeah, don't need to ruin having nightmares for the next couple of days, Ollie. Thanks very much. I'm gonna go with Alex Bregman.
Oh, your favorite
As much
player.
as I hate that Christopher Columbus looking motherfucker, he's just so good. I just can't.
He's hot,
Every
bro.
single
He's hot.
time it seems that he's up with runners in scoring position. He
his
comes
face looks
up,
like
he
bread.
produces, he gets the job done. I mean, he is just such a clutch player. Doesn't strike out. Has a great eye. Plays great defense. I hate
Isaac
his
has such a
guts.
boner for
He's
Alex
a terrible
Bregman.
human being.
Do you have like a hate boner?
I
for Alex
hate him
Bregman?
so much.
You have like kind of a
He
hate
does,
boner.
he
Like you
does.
hate him, but you also love
inside,
I
him.
hate him
like,
so
loves
much,
him.
but he comes up clutch every
kinda-
single time.
he's
It
kinda
seems like
horny for Alex
every
Bregman.
time.
He's kind of got a little boner in there for Alex Bregman.
He's so good.
He's so,
He's so good. He hits between the
so
two
good.
struggling
He's so
Alvarez
good.
and Tucker. So no,
good.
he's a great player. He's gonna give Alvarez a lot more pitches to hit because if he's hot, Alvarez is gonna get some more pitches to hit, which is great for everyone. And Tucker behind him, if Tucker can get hot, then they'll start pitching to him less. So I think he's a really important bat in between those two big lefty bats. And like I said, he has that clutch factor that not all players have. That he just seems to come through all the time. So yeah.
Before you
That's
move
my
on,
X-Factor player.
can I add a new segment here? Quick one. Just one
Is
word
it
answers
Isaac
from
Boner
everyone.
for MLB players?
No.
Yeah.
It's similar though. You guys is who do you guys think is the most attractive Houston Astro? Go.
I don't even want to answer that.
Go. One word answer. That's it.
Lance McCullers Jr. Easy.
Okay, Ollie.
I find Framber Valdez those extensions actually to be pretty good looking. I think he's got a certain kind of unique
What?
machismo about him. Yeah, no, I like the way he looks. I like him. It's more about his
Can
face
you?
for me. His,
All right,
it's
we can
not
move
his
on,
swagger.
Isaac.
No,
Host,
I
we
need to
can-
defend.
what
I
about
need to defend
you?
my points here. I haven't defended my point yet because it's not just it's
Okay.
not the extensions by
I said
themselves. It's
one
just
word answer.
he has a
Swagger
lot of
turns
swagger
you
on
on.
the
So if
mound.
you're a girl,
it's his
swagger
wind
turns-
up. It's his
Swagger
the
turns you
eyes.
on.
Look at his eyes
Okay.
carefully next time he pitches. He has some really penetrating eyes.
Whoa. What are we talking about? Ken,
Penetrating
This is
eyes.
why I said one word answers, and we got Ollie talking about penetrating eyes.
Penetrating eyes.
All right, do you want to move on, Isaac?
I would love to. Player to remember. Ken, name it.
Player to remember? Whoa! Oh, this is very similar to X Factor, but player to remember. Can you go Ollie first, please? Thank you.
Ollie, go first, dude.
Again, this time I'm not going to go with a player to remember as such. I'm going to take an alternative route again. I'm going to go with the swing to remember. There's a swing to remember in the series for the Astros, and that is the left-handed power stroke of Yordan Alvarez, who is yet to hit the big home runs we've expected him to hit in this series. We need to see Yordan's big MVP-level power stroke in this series. That's the swing we need to remember. That's the swing to remember. Yordan, lefty, big power. Huckaboom.
Okay.
Kaboom. Smash.
I have my guy.
Yes, Ken, go. Please
Player
tell
to
us your
remember-
guy.
Player to remember because you guys the baseball world might have forgotten who this guy is. His name stands at 5'5", is Jose Altuve. Now, this guy went 0 for 28, 0 for 29 even? I don't remember the exact number, but he was hitless through the first 2 or 3 games of the ALCS in the postseason, and he kind of got going a little bit in the last couple games against the Yankees. But this guy, when he's right, is unbelievable. I mean, people forget how good this guy is and how big of an impact he can have. And even when he wasn't hot, Dusty Baker left him at the leadoff spot. Wow, you have a consistent lineup. Good job, guys. Jose Altuve was running the bases well, doing the little things right. Even that play where he goes first to third and gets thrown out by Rizzo to Donaldson, that's a heads-up base running play that works out maybe 8 out of 10 times that can impact big playoff games. I think Jose Altuve will turn it on. He usually does in the playoffs. That leadoff spot is a dangerous spot because I don't know what the numbers are. He swings at the first pitch majority of the time, and he puts it in play for power. So look out. If you guys have forgotten, Jose Altuve is still a very good baseball player.
Yeah, I hear he's very short, though. What was the expression? You get Altuve'd? What was it, Ken?
I was doing a little assignment last night for my sports marketing class, whatever. We're learning about race and ethnicity, this and that. I get to the race part, Venezuelans. There's a whole section about Jose Altuve, and apparently those Latinos and Latinas over there, and there's now a word for non-binary Latinos and Latinas, it's called Latinx. Those people over there call they whatever 5'5" is, they say Altuve. There's a word for it, and it's Altuve. So, just stand an Altuve apart from me, or that bus was maybe an Altuve away from hitting me. So this is the way these people apparently talk, and it had me cracking up last night around 11:30 p.m. So yeah, apparently that was funny.
That is amazing. I love that. My player to remember is gonna be Trey Mancini. Don't forget him. He's not a bad player. He could come up big against Ranger Suarez. He crushes lefties. Has a lot of power. That short fence in left field, you never know. He had 2 games out of 4 against the Yankees, or 1. They throw him in there in pinch hit spots. Start him in the lineup some days. He still has all the power in the world. Great guy. Survived cancer. Fought back. He deserves to be in this World Series, and hopefully he gets a ring too. He'll be the only one I'm really rooting for on that team. What do you mean? What was that look, Ken? He doesn't have a ring. He's in the Orioles. What are you talking about? Does he have a ring?
No, I don't know if I'm rooting for the Astros to get a ring, but yeah, sure.
No, but if there's anyone on the Astros I'm rooting to get a ring, it's him, I'm saying. That was
secretly Isaac wants Bregman to get a clean ring.
No.
Give him a certain kind of ring.
All right, it's the most exciting time. Most exciting time of the show. If you stayed with us till now, we appreciate your listen. We would appreciate the like and the subscribe if you've gotten this far. Let's swing it to Ollie first for the ground. Actually, let's swing it to Ken first because Ollie's going to say some crazy shit. Let's swing it to Ken first for his prediction because I have a feeling I know where this is going.
I am going... The Philadelphia Phillies are going to win the World Series, 2022 champs. I have finally turned the corner. I was off the train for the first 3 series for them. I finally turned around. I think they have what it takes. I think they have enough juice to bring it home to Philly. I think this series will go 7 games. It'll be a back and forth series, a fight till the end, and I think the Phillies will come out on top. And a quick note here, I also love their theme song they got going. It's Dancing on My Own, but a little dance remix or whatever. It's fucking hype as shit. They're all singing it. And Tiesto remix, and they're singing at the end of games. It makes a lot of sense. Like, I see her kissing in the corner, whatnot. They're talking about the Dodgers and the Braves, the big market teams, but they're there still dancing on their own. Like, it's kind of romantic, bro.
I
Like,
mean, I gotta say, everyone's always like, "Oh, small market team." They signed Bryce Harper. They're not that small.
They're not that smart. They're not that smart. But they're the underdog.
I know,
that's
but
having
everyone
a good
keeps being
story.
like us against the world, small market versus big market. Like, dude, you guys are not that small. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
They're
Philadelphia
like top 5,
baseball
top 10
signed
payroll.
Bryce Harper, signed Nick Castellanos. Like, come on, guys. Wheeler. Like, come on, stop.
And then I'm going to give my World Series MVP pick because Isaac likes to forget that as the host. I'm going to go Kyle Schwarbaums as my MVP pick. It's hard not to go Bryce Harper because of how clutch and how hot he is right now, but Kyle Schwarber also can turn it on any moment, carry a team. He's done it in the past before with the Cubs. Schwarbaums is my MVP pick.
Okay, Ollie.
And this series for the ages between a team that won 87 games and a team that won 106 games, between a third-place team and a first-place team, between a team with an ERA of 2.80 and a team of 3.97. There is a great mismatch here, guys. But baseball is a crazy game. Baseball is a roll of the dice. Lightning can strike twice, anywhere.
Just say
In
it.
this game, I have to give my preamble first. We're going to see great pitching from Verlander, from Valdez, from McCullers. Huge bombs from Alvarez, Altuve, McCormick. We're going to see amazing catches from Tucker, from Bregman, from all these Astros fielders. But where the mojo is, that's so too is the victory. And the Phillies have the mojo right now. The Phillies are a winning team. The Phillies are a team that America believes in. They know the eyes of every
How many games?
God-fearing American.
How many
are on
games?
them
Say
right
the
now.
games.
Phillies in 7.
Let's go, baby. High five, high five.
Ken, did you even say games? I don't.
Yeah, I
maybe
said
I'm
7.
dumb.
I said 7.
Okay. I am gonna shock the
Wait,
world with
MVP
my
pick?
pick.
My MVP pick?
Ollie.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. My MVP pick is Rhys
Yeah.
Hoskins, deserved in the NLCS. Harper was a little bit better. This time, he takes his mantle as the most valuable player of the World Series.
Fair enough. I'm gonna shock the world.
Astros
I
in
hate,
4 with Bregman as
I
my
hate
MVP
the
pick.
goddamn Astros more than anything. But they're just the better team. I know Philly has the mojo, but that many games in Houston, it's just brutal for a team, no matter who you are. I think the pitching matchups actually favor the Astros.
Should we point out
much
that
better. I think
the past 2 World Championships played
Came out of
primarily in
nowhere.
Houston were won by the road team. Nationals beat the Astros on the road in Minute Maid Park, winning all 4 of
Nationals.
their games in Minute Maid Park. Same thing with the Braves. I'm sorry, Nationals beat Astros,
Okay.
winning all 4 games in Houston. Braves also clinched.
Oh,
in
he
Houston
came out of
against the Astros,
nowhere.
so just saying.
okay, okay.
So your point is
I
invalid.
just think it's the Astros.
Your point is invalid.
Okay, I just think the Astros have, they've been in it every year. I think this is their year again. After seeing what they did to the Yankees, I just cannot comprehend a team beating them. I would love to see
They
the
haven't lost a
Philadelphia
game.
Phillies win and beat the Astros. But if I'm a betting man, I'm putting it on the Astros. I have Astros in 6, and I have the MVP as Justin Verlander.
Okay, can I also add a quick note? Isaac is also he doesn't want to go Phillies because every Philly championship is followed by a what?
Financial crisis.
Exactly. So Isaac
true.
doesn't want any of that. So he's being a
Isaac's
smart man
economic
right
theorems.
What is Ali doing? Is he ducking
Yeah, I don't
behind
know
the
what
mic?
Ali's
Doing a little bit
All
of
right,
performance
guys.
art there for the
Sorry,
Anyone
guys, for
have any
bringing on
final
a
thoughts?
5-year-old as a guest for Bleacher Boys Media Podcast.
Anyone have any
Ouch.
final thoughts, boys?
Ouch,
Boys,
I'm
final
older than
thoughts.
you.
Come
Should
on.
we do? Should we
Let me hear
do?
'em.
Should we do most attractive Philly player real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll start.
Yeah, go.
Bryce Harper.
Nick
Nick Castellanos.
He's not hot. Not
You
a
don't
hot
think he's
boy.
hot?
Not a hot
Dude,
boy.
he's a hot boy. I could see Bryson Stott maybe.
Yeah, I could see that, but
Bryce's
not,
stats pretty cheesing. He's
not
cheesing.
Castellanos.
Who do you
Not
have?
like that.
Who do you have?
I mean, for me, it's between Nola with the chain is so sexy, and that hair and that deep. red
Oh,
hair. But
Nola,
JT is pretty sexy
fuck.
too. Nola's really hot. Nola's a really hot looking dude, man. Those soulful blue eyes and that chain. Oh,
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. This is going to be the last MLB episode, a playoff episode of the year. We're going to come back with more trade rumor talk on this channel. We will be covering the offseason, the big things that happen. It has been a
Judge
pleasure.
To the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure that you guys have listened to us, and we appreciate every view, every like, every subscription. If you're sticking with us till the end, we even appreciate you even more. We have a lot of big things coming to Bleacher Boys Media, so look out for that. Ken, you got anything else?
Yeah, look out for it. I don't want to tease anything, but we got a lot of IRL stuff coming out. We got all these voiceovers coming back, so it's a fun time in Bleacher Boys Media Land.
Yes, sir. So yeah, unless anyone has anything else, I think that'll be it for today. Yes, sir. I think that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for listening.
I've been munching on these Ruffles, sour cream.
No one cares. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.
These are our new sponsors. Thank you very much. That's pretty.
Goodbye.
Penetrative eyes. That's what they have.
Quick message.